Ndinokupa warning. Iwo mpana iwo nawamo wako. Usatamba nesu. Tagwirei.
After nearly 2 months of absence, Blessed Geza is back.
Iwe idi. Uchiona zveshe wewe uchitka pameri pako iwewe.
But back from where?
Pane zvatenge ndichiongorora. Panguva tanga takanyarara. Pane zvinenge zvichitoitika.
Ukaona takanyarara, ziva kuti pane chiri kuitika. When you see us quiet, something is happening. He claims you are studying the situation. And what is the situation? ED remains in charge, though Zanu PF remains divided along factional lines. A month ago, Christopher Muchangwa revealed that Zanu PF leaders had resolved their differences and were now on speaking terms. Well, there must be some truth to this, because Christopher Muchangwa was never reprimanded for attacking Chiwenga. Well, at least not publicly. So therefore, Muchangwa's lack of reprimand for attacking VP Chiwenga, despite many others having been fired and expelled for similar actions, suggests that either Muchangwa and Chiwenga have reconciled, or Mnangagwa is strategically overlooking the attack to avoid escalating factional tensions within Zanu PF. But just when we thought that things were normalizing, we saw the elevation of this guy to the Central Committee. Geza calls him a Chigananda in chief. He goes by the name Kudakwashe Tagwirei. He is the new kid on the Central Committee block, or I should say the new Sekuru on the Central Committee block. And with his money, possibilities are limitless. In Zanu PF, there are only 2 things that matter: money and the gun. Leadership of Zanu PF is not a popularity contest. It has never been. But predictably, Tagwirei's perceived presidential ambition has sparked a significant tension, particularly with the Chiwenga faction. His arrival and entrance into the power matrix threatens the established power dynamics and succession plans within Zanu PF. So, does Tagwirei have presidential ambitions, and is ED aware of them? Is Tagwirei Mnangagwa's plan B, or does Tagwirei himself have his own plan B that Mnangagwa is unaware of? And how long will Mnangagwa and Chiwenga keep their differences in check? And if pushed, could Chiwenga do to Mnangagwa what Mnangagwa did to Mugabe? Well, fellow Sazaitas, Slay Queens and Bingers, Socialites, Papalites, Snamalites, Varikujigarais, Never Snamarites. Welcome to the special report. Now, let's get started. We want to react to Geza's recent video and, in doing so, assess the feasibility of his intentions.
Maniraka naka muri Zimbabwe. Ndini Blessed Geza. Comrade Bombshell. Ndinokukwazisai nerufaro. Chekutanga ndoda kuzisai kuti zvikumbiro zvamakatipa takazvisvitsa kwazvaifanira kusvika. Ndokuti makazvionera mega kuti vachiwenga vakazobudisa statement vari kuVictoria Falls vachiyambira zvigananda nedzimwe nhu zvatunzva kuti madays avo they are numbered. Saka toda kutenda kuna vachiwenga namwe mageneral kuti mawar veterans ose ari kufara, povo yose yeZimbabwe iri kufara neposition yakatorwa navachiwenga nevamwe vavo.
Now, for the sake of context, In Geza's last video, before this one, he pleaded with General Chiwenga and the military generals to intervene in Zanu PF politics, just like what they did in 2017. He blamed Chiwenga for Mnangagwa's failures, arguing that it is Chiwenga who led the coup that brought Mnangagwa to power. He said, "Ndimi makaisa munhu uyu panyanga chimubvisa chamude." Now recently, Chiwenga made scathing remarks against corrupt business people, Zvigananda, stating that the day of reckoning is coming and that those pillaging the economy will face a punishment threefold. He also reassured Zimbabweans saying, "Fear not, Zimbabwe will not collapse," almost as if to say, "Hang in there, I am coming to rescue you." It kinda reminds me of that letter that ED wrote while in exile after getting fired, when he said, "Remain in the party, I'll be back soon." Is this what Chiwenga is doing? Well, clearly Geza thinks that is what Chiwenga is doing.
The day of reckoning is inevitable for those who undermine our economic integrity by engaging in shadowy dealings. Zimbabwe will not die. Zimbabwe will not collapse. Those who have intended to harm this God-given country shall be punished threefold.
According to Geza, when Chiwenga said the day of reckoning is coming, he was responding to Geza's plea for military intervention 2 months ago. He says war veterans and all Zimbabweans in general are rejoicing because the general has responded. He says, "Our cry has been heard. Zvichemo zvedu zvanzvikwa, and therefore the day of reckoning is coming. Regerai akomana, kuchachemwa." According to Geza, Chiwenga is not only coming to deal with Zvigananda, he is also coming to literally remove Mnangagwa. The day of reckoning is coming. And what is a day of reckoning? The time when past mistakes or misdeeds must be punished or paid for. But is this day of reckoning really coming? At the behest of Chiwenga? Will Chiwenga move against Zvigananda? And most importantly, will he move to unseat ED? Well, that question assumes that Chiwenga is or has been trying to unseat Mnangagwa. The question you must ask is, what benefit would unseating Mnangagwa bring to Chiwenga? Every action has a reaction. Is it worth the risk, given the dire consequences? Staging a coup is not all about just securing military loyalty. You also need to worry about SADC, AU, and the UN. Because you need either their acceptance or at the very least their neutrality. Because then you will need to manage the potential economic sanctions just in case they don't accept your coup. And of course, there is another factor of domestic public support that you also need to worry about. It's a kid's game. The 2017 coup was not an impulsive power grab. It was carefully planned. And at the time, ED faced a political extinction, and the military generals faced imminent arrest. So the 2017 coup was a matter of survival for the generals. Today, none of those conditions exist. Chiwenga is not in trouble. Well, at least not yet. Put simply, Chiwenga has no excuse to do to Mnangagwa what Mnangagwa did to Mugabe. Robert Mugabe fired Mnangagwa and Mnangagwa retaliated. Well, Chiwenga hasn't been fired, he hasn't been attacked or vilified. Remember, before Mugabe fired Mnangagwa, they attacked him, denigrated him, shamed and insulted him publicly. None of this has happened to Chiwenga. Yes, it's possible that Mnangagwa could fire Chiwenga, but it hasn't happened yet. So without a clear provocation, a coup d'etat would be a reckless overreach by Chiwenga. It lacks the crisis that justified the 2017 coup. Well, at least from the perspective of the military. In 2017, ED had no legal path to power after being fired. After all, he was no longer in Zimbabwe. He was now living in exile. So therefore, a coup d'etat was the only way ED could come back to power. So a coup is a measure of last resort. It's a last option. Chiwenga, on the other hand, still has a clear legal path to power for as long as he remains in Zanu PF. Moreover, Mnangagwa's frequent military reshuffles just seal the deal for me. You see, unlike Robert Mugabe, who left the military hierarchy largely untouched, Mnangagwa has retired and rotated generals to fragment potential power bases. Let me break it down for you. You see, the current ZNA commander is Lieutenant General Emmanuel Matatu. This man is the 4th ZNA commander in just 7 years under ED. In contrast, Robert Mugabe had 4 black ZNA commanders in 37 years. Let that sink in. 4 commanders in 37 years. Actually, make that 36 years because I'm excluding the integration period where the security services were under the command of white Rhodesians. So, after integration, the first ZNA commander was Mujuru from 1981 to 1992. He was succeeded by Zvinavashe from 1992 to 1994. Zvinavashe left command of the ZNA to become commander of the ZDF. He was replaced by Chiwenga, who took charge of the ZNA from 1994 to 2004. Chiwenga left command of the ZNA to become commander of the ZDF. He was replaced by Valerio Swanda, who took charge of the ZNA from 2004 until Robert Mugabe's removal. You see, Bobo vaisangobvisa magenerals every day kunge munhu ari kubvisa nduwe. Kunge munhu ari tafi wakufarisa. Focus, man, focus. So, Robert Mugabe, in 36 years, he had 4 ZNA commanders. Yet, ED, in just 7 years, he has had 4 ZNA commanders already. These are Edzai Chimonyo from 2017 to 2021, David Sigauke from 2021 to 2023, Anselm Sanyatwe from 2023 to 2025, and of course, the current one, Emmanuel Matatu. No one has ever served for 5 years as ZNA commander under ED. There is no job security at all. Even the Air Force, it hasn't been spared. Air Force Commander Elson Moyo was retired in 2024 hours after a bomb scare forced Mnangagwa's plane to return to Harare after failing to land in the Victoria Falls. He was replaced by John Zede. The same applies to the ZRP, which now has a new boss, Mutamba. ED Avas Kutamba. But under Robert Mugabe, Augustine Chiwenga was police commissioner for 24 years, from 1993 to 2017, having been acting commissioner for 2 years prior to him becoming the substantive police commissioner. So you can see that ED plays his commanders like chess pieces. And how does that benefit him? Well, reshuffling military commanders prevents any single leader from building a loyal base that could challenge the regime. Regular rotations disrupt potential conspiracies and also ensures loyalty to the central authority, in particular to ED, one center of power policy. But by installing loyalists as army generals, ED has built a firewall against internal threats. This of course doesn't mean that a coup is impossible. No sir, no ma'am. It simply means that ED is actively doing something to prevent it. And that's what makes him different from Mugabe. Because you see, under Robert Mugabe, ED was able to plot with military generals because it was the same military generals who had been in charge of the army since the 80s. But under ED, before Chiwenga can say Zvigananda, there is a new army commander. And by the time he tries to breathe, that commander has been replaced by another army commander. So, it's clear to me that Chiwenga lacks both the motive and the means for a coup. As far as I'm concerned, Chiwenga's smartest move is actually to wait, not to strike. A coup now would be a bold but foolish misstep in Zimbabwe's high-stakes political game. But like I said before, this doesn't mean that it's impossible for Chiwenga to unseat Mnangagwa. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm simply saying it's improbable. Political analysis is not prophecy. I am not prophesying here. I'm analyzing. You won't always get it right in political analysis because circumstances change. Best friends today could be worst enemies tomorrow. After all, there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies in politics. But it's crucial to base analysis on facts, not assumptions, speculation, or lies. Now, I understand how frustrating this must be, especially if you are Geza's supporter. You probably want me to say, it's about to go down. Chabvondo kama citizens. Chiwenga is coming. Idiva enda manch. Idiva zobuda. By Monday, Mnangagwa will be gone. That's what you want me to say, right? Well, I don't want to hoodwink you into believing lies and making false predictions like what others do. I believe in scientific thought, data-driven analysis. That's what I mean when I say andingo hwereketa. But I know many of you would rather be comforted with lies than face the bitter truth. Unfortunately, my conscience and integrity won't allow me to lie to you. I would rather lose your subscription and your followership than keep it based on fake news. On this platform, we say it as it is, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Just watch my previous videos, especially those covering current affairs, and you will see kuti pano toferefeta nyaya atingo hwereketa. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoy the content, please like and share.
Ndozozvinyora papepa kana ndanyora papepa ndoriesa